So I came to the attention of the agency because my baby and I tested positive because I was using drugs during my pregnancy. I didn't get any prenatal care, and I had already lost custody of my three older children who I did not reunify with. I was also isolated from my family and friends, and I didn't have stable housing. So the agency became involved, and I was not allowed to leave the hospital with my baby. That's when I decided to go into substance use recovery inpatient program. I had completed outpatient once before, but I didn't really change my ways afterwards. So the inpatient program that I chose was one that accepted women and children. And I thought that if I went there, that my baby would be placed with me right away. But that was not the case. I was assigned a child welfare worker who wanted to bypass my reunification, and everyone said she had the highest adoption rate out of anyone in the agency. And she made it clear she wanted to adopt my baby out, and she placed her with the resource parent who took my baby in with the understanding that she could adopt her. It was pretty devastating when I found out that the agency was not going to offer me reunification services, and I almost left the program. Um, but something just told me to stay. Um, I met the resource parent once at one time at one of my court dates. You know, I really wanted to hug her and thank her for taking care of my baby. Well, I did thank her, and she said like one word to me, and that was it. In court that day, the judge ended up granting me reunification services. I remember he told me he was giving me my last chance, and if he ever saw me in this courtroom again, that I would never see my children. So at that time, my family, my mom, my aunts, uncles, cousins, had visitation rights. So a transportation worker would bring my baby to my mom's for family visits. But at a certain point, the resource parent was making it difficult for them to have visits with the baby. The baby wouldn't show up for visits, and the resource parent kind of stopped answering their calls. So that's when my brother and his new wife decided to step in and take care of her. They said, because they were afraid that lady, didn't was not going to want to give the baby back. So my brother had a talk with me to make sure that I was going to do the right thing with this baby. And he said he would take care of her until I can get her back. But he made sure because he said he didn't want to take care of her permanently. He wasn't trying to raise kids. So the resource parent, I remember she begged my daughter's father not to have the placement changed, but I wanted her with my family. It was a good experience having my daughter placed with my family. And if it was not for my sister-in-law, I wouldn't have any baby pictures from her age 0 to 12 months. So to me, that's why chats are important, in my opinion. And that stands for communication, history, and transitions. And it's for the resource parent and the bio parent to share information about the child's likes, its dislikes, favorite food, favorite toy, and to share, milestones and photos. I was able to get that from my family. I feel like maybe the resource mom, maybe she thought I was a monster. Maybe she read the horrible things about me on the report. But nevertheless, I'm glad she loved and she cared for my baby while I was getting myself together.